everybody. Thank you for coming. Welcome. Well, the topic this week, this evening is what makes you happy? And happiness for me lies in curiosity and growth. Every question sparks a journey, leading to new insights that can enrich people's lives. I find joy in exchanging ideas, taking an idea and making it accessible or offering a fresh perspective that resonates with someone. I'm also inspired by human creativity and wisdom across cultures and ages. The ways people understand, express, and share meaning, whether it's through art, philosophy, or spiritual traditions, add so many layers to my knowledge. Ultimately, I'm happiest when I can contribute to these experiences, making knowledge feel both approachable and deeply impactful. I'm Linda. I'm one of the hosts tonight, and Shelley is our other host. And here at Open Diner, just as a reminder, we're trying to create a supportive environment where we connect above any differences, stay on topic, no criticism, avoid politics, remember to mute your microphone when not speaking to minimize background noise. And if you can turn on your cameras, that would be great. And please remember to keep your answers brief so everyone gets a chance to speak. Now we'll go to the icebreaker with Shelley.
Hi, everybody. Thanks, Linda. That was beautiful. As Linda said, my name's Shelley, and I'm going to get us started with our wonderful icebreaker question. And it's kind of a big question. The question is, who has been the greatest influence in your life and why? And when you answer, please tell us your name and where you're from. And the question again, who has been the greatest influence in your life and why? Maybe Roberta, can you get us started?
Sure. I was going to say my dad, then I'm going to say my mom, and I'll just say my parents. Put it that way. I'm Roberta from Long Island, New York, and I would say who most influenced me is my parents. They helped me with a lot of things in life, whether it was work or schooling. Even as a kid playing soccer, they always did everything to help me become a better person when I was little. So, are we picking people or no? I could pick somebody. I could pick
Sure,
Susie.
yeah.
Susie.
Me? Okay, I've had 3 master teachers and I love all of them, but my fiance, the late Sperry Andrews, touched me more than anyone has ever touched me. I've never felt love or felt more loved or love. So yeah, love's the answer. Thank you.
I'm Ron from Rotterdam, and my dad was, as I was growing up, such a good influence on how to be modest, how to be a person, how to be a dad, a husband. And he's always showed me the path. And funny enough, he was not the type to sit you down and tell you the facts of life. He would just show the example.
I'm Alyssa from Brooklyn, New York. We're talking about parents. I think my grandfather, my father's father, was the, touched me deepest. Then I still remember him, and he was a foreman on a steel fabrication, with the wires for fabrication. And he worked with the workers, people usually. And back at home, you can hear my accent. I'm from former Soviet Union, from Ukraine and Moldova. My grandparents lived in Moldova. Every other word was a cursing word. In Russian, cursing vocabulary is so wide you can't even imagine. It's it's just so. I never heard one cursed word from my grandfather. Not only he never cursed, he never raised his voice, and it's not only with me as a child, but with anybody, and I can't imagine how in the world he was able to do that. And that was amazing. The most gentle, the most, amazing person.
I can go next.
Go ahead, Kelly.
My name's Shelley from California, and I'm going to go with the parents again because I had the best parents in the world, I think, and I can't imagine not having that, having experienced that. I know a lot of people don't start with that advantage for sure, and just for all the reasons you've all mentioned, how your parents were so wonderful. So, yeah, parents for sure. I'm going to pick somebody. How about Rodney?
Hi, everybody. I'm Rodney. I'm a friend of Linda's. Hi, Linda. And I'm from Wisconsin. And of course, I've had a lot of people that have influenced me greatly. But to pick one, I would say the greatest influence is probably my grandmother, because she instilled upon me how to be kind and forgiving to everyone around me more than anyone else. And that's kind of cemented on who I am, is trying to be kind and forgiving, and still working on it today.
I'm Linda, and I live in upstate New York.
And I'll pick Linda.
And it's hard for me to say who influenced me the most, but I would have to pick my grandparents, especially my grandfather, because he showed me such unconditional love. I was the first grandchild, so I was his little princess, and he just showed me such unconditional love, and he was funny, and he took me everywhere with him. So I'd have to say him. And I'm going to pick Jen.
Hi, everybody. My name is Jen. I'm from Chicago. Oh, man, this is a tough question. I guess I would pick my dad. I didn't have a huge time to spend with him. He died when I was 18. And from there, I learned hardcore work ethics. Was a guy that, he was a factory worker. He always taught city buses, helped everybody out. He was just, I don't know, just a loving person. And he taught me how to work hard and not have hate in my heart. And, just how to treat people kind, I would say. So, I mean, 23 years later, that's still within my heart. So, yeah.
I think we.
Can I say something about
Sure.
all you guys that have great parents? That's quite amazing. And at first I was going to say, wow, you guys are so lucky, because I had not that at all. But because there was such a hole in my life, I had to have this drive, and I've really become a lot because I didn't have parents. So we're all great. I'm so glad, though. It's so comforting to know that people had a lovely childhood. Beautiful. Thank you.
Nancy, why don't you unmute yourself there?
One day I'll remember to do that. I'm Nancy. I'm from Glendale Heights, a suburb of Chicago in Illinois. And I wanted to go after Susie because I can say that my biggest influence would be my mother, but I'm not going to say it was 100% good. It was probably half and half. On one hand, she was a great mom. I know she loved me hugely and was always looking out for my best interest. But on the other hand, she was this helicopter mother that drove me crazy. And I never did anything right for her ever. I mean, there was nothing I could do that I would ever please her. So it's kind of a two double-edged sword, as they say.
I think that's everybody. Did we miss anyone? Oh, good. That's fantastic. Thanks, everybody. Okay, we'll move on to the round table. A few things to keep in mind today during our discussion. And here's a short clip called Rules of the Round Table. And Ronald's going to play it for us here.
The rules of the round table. Around the table, no one is more important or less important. Everyone is equal and very important. We don't reject opinions or negate, but only collaborate. The real solution won't come from knowledge or verbal perfection, but only from our connection.
Nice. Linda, are you ready to take it from here?
Sure. We're going to have a video now. It's about the science of happiness, and it was an experiment in gratitude, and it was really interesting, and I think you'll all find it interesting. Rona, you got it ready?
Shut up.
What? Wait, wait.
Oh, he's gonna be so embarrassed.
What makes you happy? Having fun? Hanging out with friends? Delicious food? Making money? Well, consider this. Psychologists have scientifically proven that one of the greatest contributing factors to overall happiness in your life is how much gratitude you show. Yeah? Think about that. Go ahead and marinate on it for a second. You can thank me later if you want. It'll make you feel better according to this study. You go ahead and click on it and read it if you want. Or you can keep watching because we read it and we thought it might be fun to test out for ourselves. We gathered a selection of volunteers to act as our subjects. First, we gave them a test. They didn't know what we were looking for, but it gave us a pretty good idea of their current level of happiness. We asked them to close their eyes and think of somebody who was really influential in their life, somebody who did something really amazing or important for them. We had them write down as much as they could about why this person was so important. Now, a lot of them thought at this point the experiment was over, until we really put them on the spot and tried to get them to call that person and read what they wrote about them. Thank you, Jessica. We're gonna have you call your mother. So who is that right person for you?
Person is my sister, Erica.
We're gonna give Erica a call.
Okay.
Who'd you end up picking?
Friend of mine, Craig Ains. Her name is Dora.
My college accounting instructor.
Really? Is this somebody you're still in touch with today?
No, I'm assuming that he's passed on.
That's a
to
shame.
the great beyond.
You up for it?
Yes.
What would you say if we called up Dora?
Oh, well, we can try, but she lives in Britain.
In Britain?
I don't know a number by heart, dude. This is awful.
That's fine. I don't know my mom's number by heart.
If it's true that those who are going on are looking down on us, maybe he read my chicken scratch.
Hey, sweetheart.
Hey, how you doing?
Yeah.
You got a second? Where you at, in the hotel?
I am. I'm in the hotel. You scared me when you asked if I had a second if something's wrong.
No, I'm on like this little TV show, and they told me to talk about the person that influenced me the most, and I picked you, and they're making me call. They're making me call you.
Oh, wonderful!
Hi, you've reached Craig. I'm not here right now.
At the tone, please record your message.
Oh, come on.
Hello?
Hi.
Hi.
Erica, it's me.
All right, so I got to read you this paragraph. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Go ahead,
All right.
sweetheart.
All right. The person that influenced me the most would be my mother, Marlo Dawson. She is a single mother of 2. She is a very hard worker and dedicated to her family.
Hey Craig, this is Loie. This is going to be a funny little voicemail, so I hope you enjoy it.
I'm so sorry for calling you at 4 o'clock in the morning.
I have to read this to you, okay? And you can't say anything, or I don't know. You can respond, but I probably will just keep going. Okay?
Is everything okay?
Yes, but I have to read this out loud to you.
The person who has had the biggest impact on my life outside of Jesus Christ, who is responsible for my existence, was my college accounting instructor. He had a joy and enthusiasm for his job like no other teacher I have ever known.
I love her to death, and she keeps me going with positive talk. She is a woman that knows what she wants and won't give up until it is achieved.
Oh, something. I don't know what. I'm about to cry because that's so beautiful. I have to say that's just wonderful.
I first met Craig on an independent feature film set in Whitefish, Montana. I recently have been sending Craig a lot of positive thoughts as he's suffered a series of health problems. Despite his medical problems, he's continued to work and take pleasure in the small things in life, like sitting quietly with his wife Janine on the porch. Erica is my older sister and my best friend. Sometimes it even feels like we are twins. She's my #1 fan and my #1 supporter. She makes me happy because despite all my mistakes and my decisions, she still loves me no matter what.
Your friendship is everything. And you are one of the most important person in my life.
Even when she has a kid and many children, I will love her more than her kids. Okay, maybe not. I will never forget when she flew 3,000 miles to drop a phone call to save me from a breakup.
I'm being blessed by having a son like you. I love you.
Bye.
Why did you do that to me?
I don't know because they made me do it.
Thank you for picking up. Bye, sweetie.
And then they're like, here, you're gonna write this letter. And then I wrote like this whole long ass letter, which, you know, I like don't write. And then all of a sudden they're like, hey, guess what? Now we're gonna call her and you're gonna read her this letter. And I was like, what the f?
Before we let them go, we gave our subjects one more happiness test. Now, we mixed up and rephrased the questions so they didn't know they were taking the same test twice. For those who took the time to actually write something down but couldn't make the phone call for whatever reason, we saw happiness increase between 2 and 4%. Good, but not exactly mind-blowing. Now, for those who actually picked up the phone and personally expressed their gratitude, we saw increases between 4 and 19%. So either way, expressing your gratitude will make you a happier person. But you want to know something really interesting? The person who experienced the biggest jump in happiness was the least happy person who walked in the door. What does that mean? That means if you're having a particularly tough time, trying this out will more likely have a greater impact on you. Trust me, I'm in a lab coat. In fact, while you're at it, film it and upload it to us, and we'll do something awesome with it. I'm Julian, and this has been The Science of Happiness.
Open cake, subscribe.
That was a fabulous video, wasn't it? So we have some follow-up questions for you. Questions for the round table. Have you ever tried to say something to a friend that brought them to tears of joy? Or has someone done it to you, given you gratitude that brought you to tears of joy? Anybody? I know some of you have.
That happens to me all the time. I mean, you know, you just you know, if you express yourself integrally and you're feeling a love, it will bring tears usually to both of your eyes. Sometimes you'll laugh, sometimes you'll cry, but if it's integral, yeah, tears a lot of times come when there's integral love there. Thank you.
Anyone else?
I have an example. It's it was a friend who was actually it happened recently, like less than a year ago. He was not uh, he's not the kind that's confident about his 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 opportunities, his ability to give something influential and positive to others. And I kind of brought him a reminder when he was teaching us to cook onions. Something very interesting. He was telling you the key to cooking onions to get them to give you the juice is to slowly cook them for a long time. And then, if you're doing a sauce or something else with it, then it has an amazing taste. But he never remembered how much beyond that he gives. So I had a long list of things that he did that I remembered and that were positive influence for me. And I didn't realize that what I was doing, and I saw him, wipe a tear. And thanks.
I know I've seen some videos that have brought me to tears of joy. In fact, a video I just got the other day from Rodney brought tears of joy to me. And I let him know that it was a beautiful video, and I thanked him for it. And that's the last thing I can think of. Anyone else?
Yeah, I can share. Um, I recently lost a friend. He passed away tragically, like last month, and I was contacted by his niece, and I met her at the um, at his wake, I guess, and she wanted to tell me that her uncle, he never really got a chance to tell me, like, oh, I changed his life, but I never thought that I changed his life. I'm just a quiet, introverted person, but I given him an opportunity to like do voiceover work and become an actor and just encourage that. And I just, I never thought anything of it, but she just gave me a really big hug and wanted to let me know that those were his words, and how it was like a once in a lifetime opportunity that he's gotten a chance to really live out his life, I guess, before he actually passed away. So, yeah. Yeah.
On the same line, we want to keep this positive, right? But my dad passed away about a year and a half ago, and he was a race car driver, man's man, great guy. I worked with him my whole life, and he was, was getting to the end where you knew he was 90. He was going to go soon. So I said, I don't want to get choked up. I said, Dad, I really love you. I appreciate everything you ever did for me, And he was kind of taken back. And the next day, he called me the next day. He goes, I really thought about what you said. And he goes, we never discussed that, me and you. He goes, it was always there, but he was so appreciative that I said it out loud. It was always known. My father and I worked together since I was 18. I'm 54, but passed away last year. But it just made him so happy that I actually said it. And my sister's like, you said that to Dad? We never did. Now she had to go the next day, and now she had to say, but he was so happy that, with men, it's different. My mom, we tell her all the time, we love her. My friends, I love you. But my dad, it was something, and it really touched him. And he passed away, I think, 4 days later. But yeah, thanks, Jen. You brought something up in me that I wanted to share.
Anyone else have anything, or should we go on to the next question? Here's a good one. Oh, go ahead. Did somebody want to add something? No? Okay. We'll go on to the next question. Would you say that expressing gratitude comes naturally, or do you find it a bit challenging to express gratitude to others? Yeesh.
I can answer. I think there's levels of gratitude, or maybe it's the levels of the emotion behind the gratitude. I'm not sure, but I find it easy to thank people when they do something for me or they help me out with something, when it's like not a huge thing, but an important thing. And, I'm always like, thanks so much. I appreciate the help, whatever. But if it's something big and huge, like, I can't think, but telling someone you love them, or they're, it's a kind of a bigger, I hope everybody understands. I'm not sure how to explain it, but something with more weight, something that is deeper, that I have a hard time expressing.
No, I thought that first reaction to the question was that it was, for me, it is so natural to express my gratitude. But actually, listening to Nancy and thinking deeper, that it's not always the case. I think it is natural, and I'm always like, it seems like a reaction, immediate reaction of gratitude, but it also depends on a person, I think, from whom I'm getting something that I am grateful, but something holds me. I don't know, I can't express it, but that is something that is, I can touch, I can define, but sometimes it is takes overcoming.
Susie, you speaking muted.
I'm talking, I didn't unmute. Okay, if you go through something really, really difficult and you're really having a difficult time and somebody helps you, I mean, for me, I'm so grateful. It's so easy for me to be grateful because I am so grateful to get help. And I do find that the more gratitude that I have, the higher frequency I can walk in. So, and when you're going through something difficult, that's really important to get to the high frequency. So yeah, it gets easier too. It does get for when it didn't used to be difficult for me, but I wasn't as free. But when you really need it and somebody's there, whoo, yeah, very easy to be grateful. Thank you.
I say that, it probably comes natural to us when we were kids. We didn't think twice about, oh, thank you, this jumping and thanking and everybody. But I think we got older. And I think there's something that comes with this, that there's a fear if you're too thankful, too nice, all of a sudden you're losing a little bit of security that, somebody's going to get stepped on, possibly. So, but you said, like, I think you're right, that once you start doing it, and if you're in the right group of people and people, and you're good with yourself, I think you could say thank you to somebody. They might blow you right off, but it didn't matter. Like the video showed, I think by doing these things, you're clearing out something within you. Maybe you're coming closer to source, or, changing something about yourself. So I think it comes naturally, but over the years, it got a little weighed down, and we have to start getting back to that.
I think one thing that can guide, in continuing what Roberta was saying, is that thinking about what it does to the other when you thank them, especially when you're specific about what they did but to you. Remember, if you share, you create a stronger environment around you of people that, just like will see you in a positive light as someone who's a catalyst for joy and happiness.
It is so interesting how different we are. I think when we are kids and growing up, at least maybe I'm speaking for myself, it was so obvious. You take it for granted, everyone owes you, but when you grow up and you mature and you understand that this is not the case, and you start to appreciate what people do for you, what they say, the smallest thing, and that is a part of growing up and becoming a human, I think. For me, it is the other way around.
I really feel that too, Elisa, that yeah, as a kid you just want to gobble everything up. It's like a big candy store. And I don't know what changes one day, but it sure does. And yeah, you realize if anybody does anything, it's just something to be so grateful for. And to have the ability to do that for others too.
And plus, when we're getting older, we can't do everything we used to do.
I would say, so the question is,
we have a delay, Rodney. Go ahead, please. I already spoke so much.
oh, okay. Thank you. That's okay. I would say that if the question is expressing gratitude comes naturally to me, I would say 100% yes. I'm grateful for so many things, and my life has been blessed more than I'm worth. And so I am pretty good at like thanking people and showing my gratitude, I believe. Maybe even too much sometimes. But if it's expressing gratitude comes naturally to everyone and humans in general, I would argue that yes, it comes very naturally to humans and mostly in the form of nonverbal. If you do something or say something, a lot of people will smile or they'll nod their head or they'll give some sort of indication that they were thankful and gratitude without actually expressing it verbally. But their nonverbal cues will express it very well if you pay attention. And that's been my experience anyway.
Anyone else? Otherwise, we'll go on to the next question. Okay. What simple habit could you add to make gratitude a daily part of your life? Do you think there's any little habit you can add to make gratitude a part of your life? Or can we make it a habit?
I heard once that if you wake up and have by your bed, be grateful and spend some time being grateful, it starts a habit going. I don't always do it, but I do it. And especially if you're going through something hard, it's real hard to be grateful. So you go and you go, I know there's gratitude. I know this is going to turn out great. So I'm grateful for whatever is getting ready to happen. Thanks.
I'd agree with that too. I got in the habit, still starting to get in the habit of that. It's like, like prayer, just like at least write 3 things I'm grateful for. And it actually, I don't know, thinking about it actually makes me smile. I just noticed. So yeah.
I've heard many places. If you're done, I'm sorry. Okay. Okay, thanks. I've heard many times that the thing to do is to keep a gratitude journal and like promise yourself you'll write so many things in there each night, before you go to bed or whenever is good, I guess. And I have tried it and I find it really hard to do. The first mistake I made is picking the biggest things that I'm always grateful for, but you cannot write the same thing down every single day. It doesn't really work well. So I had she's a therapist. I don't know. She leads another group and she's like a therapist and a hypnotist and a bunch of stuff. And she suggested, no, you don't do it like that. You don't always look for like the biggest things, but you look for the smallest things. And like she said, just look all day long as you're doing stuff and see what makes you smile. And whatever it is that might make you smile, that's a small little piece of gratitude, and you can hold on to that. That works much better. And that does change my day. I might not write it down, but I try to pay attention to things like that. And it really does make a big difference.
You're absolutely right, Nancy. I don't know. It's not lately. It started being, but, it's a gratitude. We started with, this is to my father who actually taught me to appreciate nature from the very early childhood, he always was pointing, look at the sky, look at the grass, look at this, look at tiny little things. And now, with each season, I'm just being more and more in awe of beauty and complexity and of the nature, and that is, and people, of course, and especially small little kids, it's all are things that are sort of, you may not even notice, but if you do, you understand how incredible they are, and they allow you to be grateful for what you see and experience.
I think also there is we have to do this, trying to find ways to be grateful for the moments where we're not happy. This is as a way to bring yourself back to some kind of at least level state, or bring back to happiness. Because if yesterday I was happy and today I'm not for some reason or other, if I remember that I had high moments where I was grateful for things, then I might have a more positive outlook on life in general. If you think about how much we receive, on a daily basis from all over the place, how life is organized to give us an opportunity to, bring happiness to others, then we can be happy for and grateful for the potential that we live through. And that potential is priceless, because you can transform it into something that is amazing, and it depends on you being able to grab those opportunities. So this idea of practicing gratitude and finding a way to have it daily, it's amazing, because it can make you happy even when you're going through the hardest thing.
To continue, Rona, is, I think, something that really touched me, and I think I hope I will make it a habit. At least this is the intention, to make it a habit, that exactly when things are not going right, and the mood is bad, and it's just something, everything is gray and getting darker. This is the time to pick up the phone and talk to, and express your gratitude, my gratitude to, to a friend, to a daughter, to relatives, to anyone, anyone, it doesn't matter, but to express the gratitude. This is a beautiful habit that I am implementing. This is the intention.
I have an idea. I bought a bread machine. And the funny thing is, I'm on the keto that I just started 2 weeks ago, but I just started every weekend. I've been making bread for my neighbor, pumpkin bread, my sister, my mother. I've been handing out breads. When I tell you people love it and they're happy, and it makes me happy. I'm not even eating the bread, honestly. My friends came over. I gave them, anybody that, I make like maybe 4 loaves or whatever. And I'm making this weekend banana bread. So I'm looking forward, actually, to give it to my neighbor, who loved the other one I made, and my sister, my mom. I get so happy by giving to others. So bread machine's pretty good.
You can create a commercial.
Isn't it?
Anyway, you can send some of that bread through, Zoom or something, and send it over my way.
I can give everybody the bread.
Yeah, and here, yeah, please.
All righty, I think we've got maybe one more question at least. Let's see here. When someone unexpectedly thanks you, what kind of feeling do you get from that? When someone gives you a compliment you didn't see coming, how does that make you feel?
I remember one time very recently, it took me by total surprise. I don't know. I just didn't expect it, but it was by text, of all things. But for some, I can't remember the exact, let me think. Oh, my friend said something to me about, she is a veterinarian and I have a cat and I'm always worrying about the cat. And she said something to me the other day about, you take such good care of your cat. I'm very proud of you. You're doing such a great job with him. I know he makes you happy. That was a really big thing for me to hear, because usually she's telling me I don't play with him enough. I don't do this. I don't do that. And I was just really shocked by that. I couldn't believe it. It's lucky it was by text, or I probably would have started crying.
I think it's great when somebody unexpectedly thanks me. I mean, you're going through life, you're doing what you can do to keep up, you're giving, but then all of a sudden somebody says, wow, thank you. And you go, oh, yeah, it makes you feel great, because you're not doing it for the thanks. You're doing it because you want to do it and because whatever. But when you get a thanks, you go, oh, that feels good. It's kind of like energy that kind of soaks in your heart. um,
Yeah, it makes you feel happy, you smile, you don't expect it, so it's like a surprise, and that makes you feel even happier. I would like to do one thing. I would like to ask Rodney to tell everybody what he does to make children happy.
You want me to tell everyone what I do to make children happy? Is that what you're saying?
Yes. How you go to Russia?
So, well, first of all, I'm a pediatric nurse, and then I'm also a clown. And so I like to do medical clowning, or what we call humanitarian clowning. And I go to Russia every year. Well, I have from 2000 to 2019. I haven't been since the pandemic, but so I go every year and I volunteer with an organization called Maria's Children that works with orphans and does arts rehabilitation with orphans, and allows them to come to her studio and express themselves and do artwork to kind of help with their self-esteem. They also are taught how to cook, how to do laundry, things, life skills. And so I go and volunteer as a clown. And so I always travel as a clown to Russia. So if you ever see a clown in the airport traveling, it might be me. And so I bring smiles and happiness and joy to children that way. And I love it and hope to do it until the day I die.
Does
bless you,
TSA
Rodney.
search you, Rodney, more than others
Thank you
at the
for doing
airport?
that. How children react
I'm
to
sorry,
you?
was that a question?
Go
Yeah,
ahead,
Shelley
Elisa.
Shelley
ahead.
wanted to know if they search you at the airport.
Yeah. Because you're dressed like a clown.
Well, funny enough, I have been pulled over a couple times to get my luggage checked, and it's usually full of clown noses and kazoos and things. And they look at me like, "What is this?" I'm like, "Well, you pulled me over to look at my luggage. That's what a clown carries." So it's only happened a couple times, but I've also dropped some noses, and TSA will make an announcement. Has anyone lost their red nose? And then my wife Connie looks at me, like shakes her head like, oh boy. So yeah, so it is kind of a funny.
That is a really great thing you do. I just wanted to tell you that's quite generous and so good for those kids.
Can you tell us more, Rodney? Because how do kids react, or do you speak English? How does it go? The interaction with Russian speaking kids, how does it go? I can't even imagine.
That's a great question. Thank you, Alyssa. Um, well, funny enough, when I'm in Russia, I'm with Maria and all of her volunteers, and they all are bilingual. And so if I need to talk to a kid, I can, of course. I know a little bit of Russian, like I can ask them their name and I can tell them my name and a little bit of Russian. But the funny thing is, a clown, typically you don't need to speak the language to interact with the kids. Hand gestures, you just kind of show them, and that most kids are universally know how to play. And so if you show them how to play, they know how to jump in and play. I will say there's one of my favorite stories is I have a kid who comes up, people are talking Russian around me and I speak a little bit and I hear and I react and and so, which means I speak a little Russian. And then a kid will come up to me, he's like 8 or 9, and he'll look at me and say, Cheap. Chip is my clown name. Cheap. And he goes off in this Russian, like tells me this. And I'm looking at him and I say, Yani mani payu, Yani panimu, Yani panimayu pruski, which means I don't understand Russian in Russian. And I can just see this kid look at me. I'm dressed as a clown, but I'm telling him I don't understand Russian, yet I speak Russian. And I know he's thinking, is he trying to be funny as a clown, or is he really not understanding? And I usually just look at him and throw my hands up, and then he runs off laughing because I don't understand the whole thing. So it's pretty funny. But language is not that big of a barrier when you're clowning, actually.
Thank you. Huge gratitude to you. And thank you for sharing.
Is there such a thing as a clown school? Is there such a thing as a clown school? Is there?
They do have clown schools around the world, actually. They have them. Israel has a big, actually, medical clown school. So there's a thing called medical clowning, which takes it to another level where you actually learn medical procedures and medical terminology, and you can go into a hospital and do what they call medical clowning and help kids get through medical procedures. Ringling Brothers used to have a medical college, and I don't know if that's still open or not. There is a clown arts camp in California called Camp Win a Rainbow, run by Wavy Gravy. And so you can go there for 2 weeks and learn clown skills along with other sort of art skills, circus skills. So there are ways to learn it. I never did that. I've been self-taught, and then I have a lot of friends who are clowns. So I've learned just by watching and learning by watching people around me who are professional clowns, but I'm not a professional clown. It's just a hobby.
Just to add to that, to what we're talking about, like you said, the language, it's something that's an unspoken word like happiness. And also, I think also with love and gratitude, it's something that's in us. Like, one of the questions before was, are we born with it or without? I think that's something that we all know when someone's being thankful or grateful or happy, or, we all know these feelings so well. And it's nice to have this connection with people, even when people are gratitude and being friendly. It's that makes me happy, right? Everybody wants to be happy. It's beautiful.
Well, let's see. I don't know if we have any more. We have any more time for questions? I think we have one more question. Why do you think a thank you phone call can feel so much more uplifting than a text?
Probably because you can hear that person's voice and the sincerity within it. And the text feels really cold, And I prefer to just, yeah, talk to people face to face or a phone call. I think it's more sincere.
And our voice has vibrations, and there's no vibrations on the phone. I mean, they're more negative. So the voice has, it's kind of like, yeah, we receive it better. It's much more fun.
There's inflection in a voice that you can't duplicate it by text. We try using emojis and different things, but it's just not the same. And I think if you're not careful with text, you're going to get misunderstood, because the same sentence, the same words can mean so many different things. Well, that doesn't usually happen when you're talking, and especially face to face is even better. I was an English major in college, and one of the things I remember is that I think the number, I'm not sure if the number is right anymore, but 93% of communication is nonverbal. And now I don't mean text. I mean with us, with how we manage our bodies, how we use our hands, the expressions on our face. There's a lot more nonverbal communication that goes on than there really is verbal.
Well, during the pandemic, when everybody was wearing masks, you could tell when someone is smiling by their eyes.
Yes, I thought that was interesting too, because I really missed that part when we were wearing masks. Because every time I walk by people, I usually smile, and I'm like, nobody knows I'm smiling. But then I started to see it in others. You can tell by the eyes. The eyes change when someone's smiling.
Funny enough, though, even though I think talking, thanking someone in by phone call or in person is best, is better. Yet I always use text. I don't like to talk on the phone. Go figure.
I think it's a change of times. Now I see people mostly texting, and I tell you true that I would rather get anything than nothing. I will be happy to hear voice, text, whatever, even a tiny emoji, anything will make me happy, but the silence.
I think we're slowly losing our ability to speak and to communicate that way. I remember a funny joke. Even in text, people use shorthand. Instead of saying okay, which is 2 letters, people say K. And there was a guy who said, okay, potassium to you too.
Say the last part again.
He said potassium to you too. Potassium, K is the
Okay,
letter.
okay, I got it. Well, kids today might say K like the drug Special K. Now it even got worse, but yeah, K, but I got you.
Well, how about an impression here? How about if you were to take someone that you said during the icebreaker or others that influenced you the most, and you called them up and told them that they were the one who influenced you the most and why, and let us know in 2 weeks how it went. How does that sound? Huh?
I like it. I think that's a good idea. It's a challenge.
It is.
Well, I
Shelley?
can't call my dad, but maybe we could think of other people that we think, come across gratitude and give a call. See, that's a nice thing. We could try.
Yeah.
I was gonna add too, maybe if I can't call my parents either. Maybe if we would just each write just a little journal entry of how we would feel talking to them and telling them that, and bring it next time you come or something like that. So we can include them too. Okay,
Yeah.
friends, go ahead.
Sorry, no, I just wanted to say great idea because that is exactly what was on the clip we saw, that they were just the man who was influenced, but his I forgot who was the person passed away. He just read what he wrote to him. That was a great thing as well.
And if you think of it, James Von Prague, he hears dead people, and he says they're in and out of our house all the time. And I believe they would love to hear how much they affected your life and how, because they're here. They're like Gaia TV says, they're just in another dimension, so yeah, talk to them. I sure do.
Nice. Okay, friends, let's wrap it up. I'd like to express my gratitude to all of you for coming today to join together in acknowledging the importance of being grateful to others for everything. For without other people, our lives would be meaningless. Thank you to everyone for joining us and sharing your deepest feelings. Linda's got a little bit of reminders for us.
Yep, a few ways to keep in touch with us at Open Diner. You can join our meetup group, follow us on Facebook. We also post on Instagram, Nextdoor, Twitter, Pinterest. If you prefer, you can subscribe to our email list for a bi-weekly notification about our events that are coming up. And just know that your email is never shared with the third party. And some of our older events are on YouTube if you want to watch and share. And invite your friends to join us too. And the links are here in the chat. And thank you again for coming, everybody. And we'll see you in 2 weeks on the topic Thanksgiving 365. Let's have thanks 365 days of the year. We'll meet again, expand on our connection. Hope to see all of you then, and a little music on the way out.
Gratitude, dear friend.
Everybody.
It might seem crazy what I'm about to say.